Welcome to Rare Coins Numix, where we explore the fascinating world of ultra-rare 1-cent pennies. These tiny coins might seem ordinary, but hidden among them are some of the most valuable and sought-after pieces in numismatic history. Stick around as we dive into their unique stories and uncover what makes these pennies truly priceless to collectors worldwide. Sometimes the smallest coin in your pocket can turn out to be the most surprising. It's easy to overlook a penny. After all, we use them every day, toss them into jars, and rarely stop to examine one closely. But every now and then, a common coin becomes something far more valuable than expected. And that's exactly what happened with one particular 1976 Lincoln cent. At first glance, there's nothing unusual about this coin. It features the same design that had been used for decades: Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing right, with the word Liberty and the year 1976 next to him. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, with United States of America arching across the top. A small D mint mark beneath the date indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. No commemorative bicentennial design, no flashy features, just a regular penny. But what sets this coin apart isn't something most people would notice at first. It's not about the design, it's about the condition. In 1976, the U.S. Mint produced more than 4 billion Lincoln cents at the Denver facility alone. That's right, billions. So naturally, the assumption is that these coins are everywhere and worth no more than face value. And that's mostly true. The vast majority of 1976 pennies are circulated, worn down, and common. But rarity in the coin world doesn't always come from low mintage. Sometimes, it comes from survival in perfect condition. A few 1976 pennies were never spent, never handled, and never allowed to deteriorate. They were carefully stored from the beginning, placed in mint rolls, collector sets, or held by individuals who recognized their potential early on. Over time, these few coins managed to avoid the damage that affects nearly every other example. No scratches, no dulling, no spots, just clean copper brilliance. For copper coins, this level of preservation is extremely rare. Copper is reactive, it discolors, it develops spots, and even when left untouched, it can lose that original, red shine that grading services look for. That's why so few coins from this era, especially pennies, ever achieve the highest mint state grades. Coins submitted to professional grading services are assessed under magnification and strict criteria. Even the slightest flaw, a tiny nick, a weak strike, a fingerprint, can drop a coin's grade. So when a coin like the 1976 penny receives a mint state 68 red designation, it's a major achievement. It means the coin is virtually flawless and has retained its full red copper color for nearly 5 decades. These high-grade coins are exceptionally desirable to collectors who focus on condition rarity. While there may be millions of 1976 pennies still out there, only a tiny number, fewer than a handful, exist in this elite category. That's what drives the value so high. The demand for top-quality coins is growing, especially among registry set builders and condition-focused collectors who compete to assemble the best sets possible. The historical context adds another layer of appeal. 1976 was the year America marked its 200th birthday, a year filled with parades, fireworks, commemorative stamps, and yes, coins. While the penny didn't receive a special commemorative design like the quarter or half dollar, its date still makes it part of a historically significant time. And for many collectors, building a complete high-grade set of coins from that year includes the penny as a must-have. In recent years, interest in high-grade Lincoln cents has been rising steadily. Modern grading standards have become more precise, and collectors are now looking back at coins from the 1970s and 1980s with renewed attention. That means coins that once seemed ordinary are being re-evaluated, and in some cases, like this one, completely redefined in value. Auction houses and private sales have reflected this shift. What used to sell for hundreds now sells for thousands. Collectors who once passed over modern-era pennies are now competing fiercely for the few top-tier examples. And as more eyes turn to coins from this period, values are only expected to rise. So what does that all mean for the value of a coin that, on the surface, seems like it should be worth just 1 cent. Well, one pristine 1976 D Lincoln cent, graded mint state 68 red, sold for an eye-opening $113,000. Yes, $113,000 for a single 1 cent coin. That price wasn't driven by metal content or rarity in mintage, it came down to condition, market demand, and the nearly impossible challenge of finding a coin like this preserved to perfection. It's a reminder that even the most familiar coins, the ones we see every day, can carry immense value under the right circumstances. So if you come across a 1976 D penny that still has its original shine, no signs of wear, and crisp, sharp details, don't dismiss it too quickly. Have it evaluated. Because somewhere out there, another flawless penny may still be waiting to be discovered, and it might just be worth far more than anyone expects, and this is only the beginning of what today's coins have to reveal. Let's take a look at the next one and see what makes it stand out among collectors. Next up is a coin that might seem like nothing special at first glance, just another 1 cent piece from the late 1980s. But beneath its plain copper surface lies a detail so rare and easy to miss, it turned a simple penny into one of the most valuable modern coins discovered in circulation. We're talking about the 1988 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't include a mint mark on 1 cent coins. So seeing a 1988 penny without any mint mark is completely normal, nothing looks off. Lincoln's familiar profile faces right, the word Liberty sits to the left, the date just below the bust, and the reverse carries the iconic Lincoln Memorial. Nothing new there, at least not at first glance. In fact, this coin looks like one of the billions of pennies produced that year. Over 6 billion 1 cent coins rolled off the presses at the Philadelphia Mint in 1988. With that kind of volume, it's hard to imagine any one of them standing out. But a small handful of them do, and the reason comes down to a subtle design detail on the reverse side that wasn't supposed to be there. Some 1988 pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were struck with a reverse die meant for the 1989 Lincoln cent. That design change was small, a minor adjustment in the engraving of the initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, who designed the reverse. On the 1989 reverse, the initials are clearer and set differently, particularly near the base of the Lincoln Memorial. Somehow, that die, meant for 1989, was mistakenly used to strike some 1988 pennies. That might sound like a tiny issue, but in the coin world, that kind of error is known as a transitional reverse variety, and it's incredibly collectible. These types of transitional errors don't happen often, and when they do, only a small number of coins are affected before the mistake is caught. The vast majority of people never noticed this tiny difference. These transitional reverse 1988 cents circulated just like any other penny, tossed into pockets, cash registers, and piggy banks across the country. Most were spent, worn down, and eventually melted or forgotten. But a few were preserved, maybe unknowingly, maybe by collectors who spotted the subtle difference and held on to them. Today, those few surviving pieces, especially those in near-flawless condition, are considered some of the most valuable Lincoln cents from the modern era. And it's not just about the error, it's also about condition. By 1988, pennies were made from a copper-plated zinc composition, a structure that doesn't age well. These coins are lightweight, prone to environmental damage, and often show surface spotting and corrosion over time. Finding one in pristine condition is already rare. Combine that with the transitional reverse, and now you have something truly special. Top-tier grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified just a handful of these coins in high mint state grades. In some cases, we're talking about mint state 67 red, meaning the coin has full original red luster and no visible signs of wear even under magnification. These are the best of the best, and they're exactly what serious collectors are hunting for. There's also a growing demand for modern era coins. Transitional varieties from the 1980s and 1990s are now commanding far more attention than they did a decade ago. Collectors who once focused only on older silver coins are beginning to turn their attention to more recent pieces, especially ones with unusual stories, low survival rates, and high-grade appeal. Many collectors now specialize in error varieties, focusing their searches on the smallest of flaws. Things that used to be overlooked are now considered significant. That includes double dies, misplaced mint marks, and yes, transitional reverses like this one. What's interesting is that the popularity of online marketplaces and auction platforms has played a major role in bringing these coins to light. When a high-grade error penny appears, collectors around the world have a chance to compete for it, driving up demand and, with it, the value. And that's where this 1988 penny really shines. It's not just a coin with a design change, it represents a mistake that slipped through unnoticed at a time when quality control was supposed to be airtight. That makes it not just a curiosity, but a documented part of mint history. It's a snapshot of a specific moment when the production process wasn't as perfect as people assumed. If you're a collector or just someone curious about coins, it's a good reminder to look a little closer at those ordinary-looking cents. Something as simple as a shift in the position of a designer's initials could be your clue that you're holding something extremely rare. So, how much is one of these 1988 no-mint mark transitional reverse pennies worth? One verified example, preserved in outstanding mint state condition with brilliant red color and no visible flaws, has been valued at $77,000. That's right, $77,000 for a 1-cent coin that most people would never look at twice. It's a powerful reminder that in the world of coin collecting, value doesn't always depend on age, metal, or how exotic a design appears. Sometimes, all it takes is a small detail, perfect preservation, and a little bit of luck, and what you thought was pocket change could turn out to be a life-changing discovery. Now let's shift our attention to another Lincoln cent that might be hiding more than it shows at first glance. This time, we're looking at the 1998 penny minted in Denver, the one with the little d just under the date. It's a coin many people still have lying around in drawers, piggy banks, or pocket change. But believe it or not, there's a version of this seemingly common cent that has sold for a truly surprising amount, and there's a good reason why. To understand why this penny matters, we have to look at more than just its design, we have to look at timing. The late 1990s were a transitional period for the US Mint. New coin series were being planned, technology was improving, and quality control standards were shifting. Amid all of that, small variations and exceptionally struck coins from this era began standing out. The 1998 D penny is a product of mass production, over 6.4 billion were minted. And most of them? They did their job, quietly changing hands and disappearing into the rhythm of everyday commerce. But every once in a while, one coin slips through the cracks of normality. One coin stands out, not because it was supposed to, but because of how perfectly it was made and how well it was preserved. One factor that makes certain 1998 D pennies valuable is how sharply struck they are. We're talking about full detail in Lincoln's jacket, crisp lines in the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and a clean, even copper tone with strong luster. And that's not easy to find, especially for coins made from copper-plated zinc, a material known for spotting and corrosion. Collectors also pay close attention to die wear and how fresh the dies were at the time of striking. In 1998, with such high output, many coins were struck with aging dies, leading to slightly blurred or soft designs. But the rare few that were struck early in a die's life can display extra clarity and detail, and those are the ones that gain attention at grading services. Another piece of the puzzle is how collectors today are shifting their focus. Modern coins from the 1980s and 1990s, once dismissed as too recent, are now being viewed through a different lens. As high-grade older coins become harder to find or increasingly expensive, many collectors are turning to more recent decades for the next wave of key pieces. It's also important to realize that these valuable finds don't always involve dramatic errors or unusual designs. Sometimes, value is found in the perfect version of something common, a standard issue coin that somehow survived untouched, bright, and sharp. Only a small number of 1998 D pennies have been graded in mint state, 67 red or higher. That grade means no visible flaws, no marks, no discoloration, just a flawless strike and preserved brilliance from the day it left the mint. And since the vast majority of coins from that year were handled, stored poorly, or never given a second thought, the number of survivors in top condition is incredibly low. This scarcity, combined with increased collector interest, drives a remarkable premium for these rare specimens. It's a great example of how condition and eye appeal can turn an everyday coin into a prized collector's item. When a coin reaches this level of rarity and quality, it becomes highly sought after at major coin shows, private sales, and auctions alike. The market for pristine 1998 D Lincoln cents continues to grow as more collectors recognize their significance. To put it simply, these rare pennies have proven that even modern coins can become valuable treasures when all the right factors come together. The rarity is only part of the story. The excitement around these coins comes from their ability to capture a perfect moment in minting history, a fleeting combination of precision, preservation, and demand. Collectors today are eager to add such coins to their collections, knowing that their value is backed by both scarcity and desirability. One such coin, in flawless condition and boasting its original red luster, has achieved a value of $50,000. This penny's journey from everyday change to a prized collectible reminds us that hidden gems are often closer than we think, sometimes just sitting quietly in a jar or box, waiting to be discovered. That's a remarkable figure for a coin that most would overlook. It shows how condition and rarity can transform even the most everyday coins into something truly valuable. So, if you come across a 1998 D Lincoln penny that looks especially sharp or has a bright, red color, it might be worth taking a closer look or having it professionally graded. Even small details, like the clarity of Lincoln's features or the smoothness of the coin's surface, can make a big difference in value. Coins like this remind collectors that sometimes the biggest surprises come from the most familiar places. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, paying attention to details like mint marks, strike quality, and preservation can lead to unexpected discoveries. Remember, coins that have been well cared for over the years can often hold far greater value than you might expect. It's proof that there's always more to learn and explore in the world of coins, and that patience and knowledge often pay off. Moving on to the next coin, we're taking a closer look at the 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it seems like a standard penny, something you might find loose in your pocket or at the bottom of a jar. But appearances can be deceiving, especially when it comes to coin collecting. This particular penny stands out because it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which during that year, didn't place a mint mark on its coins. While billions of these pennies were made, most were used and circulated heavily. What makes the no mint mark 2003 penny special is when one is found in exceptionally well-preserved condition, with strong details and vibrant copper color. In coin collecting, condition is king. Pennies from this era were made primarily from copper-plated zinc, which is prone to wear and corrosion once it enters circulation. That means finding one in near-perfect condition is quite rare. Collectors prize these coins because they represent a snapshot of minting quality and history from the early 2000s. Aside from condition, what draws interest to this penny are the subtle differences in the coin's strike and finish. Some specimens show remarkable sharpness in Lincoln's profile and in the intricate details on the reverse side, which features the Lincoln Memorial. These qualities can help a coin stand out among millions. The history of this coin is closely tied to the production processes at the Philadelphia Mint during the early 2000s. At the time, the mint was producing an enormous volume of coins, which naturally led to variations in quality. Coins struck early in a die's life tend to have more detailed features, and these are the ones collectors look for. During this period, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different techniques to improve coin quality, resulting in some coins with better strikes and more vibrant finishes than others. The 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a prime example of this. When you find one with deep, clear details and bright red color, you're holding a coin that has truly stood the test of time. Finding a penny in such pristine condition is increasingly rare because pennies circulate so widely and often show wear quickly. Even slight damage or discoloration can reduce a coin's appeal and value, making well-preserved examples particularly prized by collectors. Collectors also pay close attention to subtle varieties and minting errors, but for this 2003 no mint mark penny, the main attraction is its condition and the sharpness of its strike. These coins remind us that quality and preservation can elevate even the most common coins. Over the years, a small but dedicated group of collectors has sought out these pristine 2003 no-mint mark pennies. Certified examples graded highly by professional services have shown that rarity and condition can elevate a seemingly ordinary coin to a collector's treasure. If you're new to coin collecting, this coin highlights why paying attention to detail matters. It also shows how coins produced in vast quantities can still hold significant value when preserved carefully. The thrill of discovering a coin like this is part of what makes collecting so fascinating. As coins like this continue to surface, collectors are reminded that there's always potential in what might seem like everyday change. The care taken to preserve such coins often reflects a passion for history and an appreciation for the art of minting. Another interesting point is how advances in minting technology have influenced the quality of coins over the years. The 2003 penny is a snapshot of that transitional period, where new methods were being tested and refined. This adds an additional layer of interest for collectors who focus on minting history. It's also worth mentioning the role of grading companies in determining a coin's value. When a 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny receives a top grade from reputable services, its market value increases significantly. This professional evaluation gives buyers confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition. The market for these coins is niche but active, with collectors constantly on the lookout for the best examples. Auctions and private sales have helped establish the true value of these pennies, proving that rarity combined with condition can drive prices to impressive heights. In addition, the story behind the coin adds to its appeal. Every coin carries a history, and for collectors, owning a piece that has survived nearly 2 decades in such good condition connects them to a larger narrative of American minting. Now, after exploring the history, design, and collector appeal, it's time to reveal the impressive value of this coin. A flawless, top-grade 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can command a value of $34,000. This remarkable price reflects how much collectors value quality, rarity, and the story behind the coin. So if you ever come across a 2003 no-mint mark penny that looks especially sharp and retains its original copper shine, it's worth considering a professional evaluation. Sometimes, what looks like a simple penny could be a hidden treasure in your collection or change jar. Thanks so much for watching and being part of this journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got plenty more fascinating coins and stories coming your way. Your support means a lot, thank you. Stay tuned for more exciting discoveries that could change the way you see everyday coins.